when he's on social media?
Well, it's not just my father, Maria. It's all conservatives. It's people who are pro-life. It's people who are pro-Second Amendment, the religious right. I mean, it's happened to me on numerous occasions because I had the gall to be the first person, let's call it the first verified person with a lot of followers, to be like, I don't know, guys, do you really believe this Jussie Smollett story? Meaning, if it happened, I mean, throw the book at him, but like, this just sounds ridiculous. And, you know, I got targeted for a hate speech. Turns out I was right. You know, that didn't stop the mainstream media from, you know, dragging me through the mud for 3 or 4 days. But, you know, that's what's going on. I mean, all of these social media companies, they're controlled by leftists. Even whatever they're saying, the 25,000 people that work of them are all leftists. They all believe in one thing, and it's not free speech. They only believe in their speech. You know, you can only be woke. If you're not woke enough, again, a cancelable offense. And so you've seen this happen. You know, social media is supposed to be a free marketplace. These companies get all sorts of protections from the federal government, from liability, et cetera. But if they're acting as publishers and they're saying you can't push this, you can't write that, you can't do that, they should not be getting those protections. And it's an issue I've been really vocal about for quite a few years. And a lot of conservatives, frankly, have been very slow to adapt, unfortunately. I think they're starting to get it. I think they're starting to see it. And conservative legislators understand now what's going on. And more importantly, they understand how big an issue that is with the conservative base who sees it. Maria, I can send out a tweet in the morning or an Instagram post. At this point, I do a lot of this. I know what something is going to do, and I see the numbers. Oh, that one's going to go big, and boom, it just hits a wall, and it stops right there. You know, the algorithm kicks in. Yeah. They see it. They don't like it. They suppress it. It's happening. It's happening flagrantly. You've seen the stuff that James O'Keefe has been able to uncover. You know, people have to really step up on act because this is not free speech anymore. They are doing whatever they can to manipulate an election, to make sure that certain content is pushed and others is totally stymied, and that's not right. If they want that, fine. But they got to lose those protections and the liability that's probably worth billions of dollars in terms of protection to them from our federal government, because taxpayers shouldn't be funding their own suppression.
And the DOJ is proposing just that. When I spoke with AG Barr last week, we talked all about this, and the Attorney General said that these social media companies are, quote, being more selective. They're starting to censor different viewpoints, that you have this concentration of very large companies that had this kind of influence on sharing of information and viewpoints on our society. What can be done about this other than taking away that protection that they have, that they can't be sued, Don? Because at this point, you're going into a situation, into the election, where you are seeing censoring of this speech. You'd like to see market share do the job. I know you've joined Parler, right? Is that supposed to be the alternative to Twitter?
That's an alternative. But again, you know, everyone always, you know, for years has said, Don, you know, you should start your own social media. I'm not looking for a playing field that's only conservative voices. I actually want to hear both sides. But that's the reality.
Just want free speech.
You know, they've been censoring the right forever, you know, for years. Now they're just getting so brazen about it. Now they don't even care. Now anything they deem, you know, you saw the other day, I mean, they kicked Sidney Powell, Michael Flynn's attorney, off of Twitter. Why? Because she's been effective, because she took on a corrupt FBI, because she called out people for sitting on exculpatory evidence for years. You know, this isn't exactly, you know, some sort of, you know, out there wacko person that they're trying to say, you know, that there's a legitimacy to, but she's an effective messenger for something that goes against the DNC talking points. And if you do that, that's the cardinal sin. You will be canceled, you will be suppressed, and you will be shut down. And you see it every day. Conservative voices, they've done it to Candace Owens, they've done it to all
dangerous. It's incredibly dangerous, Don. And not only that, but, you know, Sidney Powell started what is likely going to be a domino effect in terms of the cabal of individuals that put their finger on the scale and tried to stop Donald Trump from becoming president, despite the will of the people, despite 63 million Americans voting for him. They are very critical of the president, as is, by the way, John Bolton. Let's talk that for a second. He's in hot water this morning. A D.C. District Court judge is saying that the material in the form former National Security Advisor's memoir opens him up to potential liability. This after the Justice Department's lawsuit to block the release of this book failed. What's your take on John Bolton still doing interviews, still criticizing your father, talking about the fact that he did do the process? And yet AG Barr told me a week ago, no, he needs to finish the process of ensuring that there's no national security information in there. But the book is out.
Correct. Well, listen, again, it's that double standard. If a conservative did this about Obama and his administration, the media would be going nuts. Everyone would be saying this. And the reality is it seems like he did something really, really bad. But again, no one's going to put pressure on the guy that does something really, really bad against Donald Trump. You know, Donald Trump didn't get into John Bolton's endless wars. We didn't start 50 wars. We didn't nuke every country that John Bolton would have wanted to nuke for no real reason, to put our men and women and our soldiers at risk, to spend trillions of dollars fighting the endless war. So once he didn't get that, once he didn't get what he wanted and Donald Trump pushed back on it and frankly reduced our troop numbers and started bringing our guys home, John Bolton became a petulant child. Then someone offers him $2 million and say, oh, now we can write the hit book. Then he did so without thinking, just blinded by the hatred of, being anti-Trump. And honestly, all of those boosters on the left that will, gladly accept anyone who's willing to say anything about Trump, regardless of their character, regardless of their backstory, regardless of the fact that they hated them 5 minutes before. We've seen this time and time again. I hope he gets what's coming to him.
I did not realize that they paid him $2 million for that. That's incredible. But what is also incredible is Donald Trump's entire first term has been dominated by investigations. And I've been on this project to try to understand exactly how many hearings have been going on in terms of the investigating of Donald Trump in all aspects of his life versus hearings on China, on national security, and on the things that Congress should be focused on. It feels like once the Democrats won the House majority back in 2018, the entire agenda, all of the resources have been focused, the investigatory resources of this country focused on taking down Donald Trump and missing all this other stuff that is incredibly important. China is probably the most fundamental threat the United States faces right now.
I agree 100%, Maria. As someone who's been under investigation and spent 30 hours, myself, 30 hours testifying before Congress, I bet they spend more time trying to throw me in jail because it would hurt Donald Trump than they did investigating China. And that's the fundamental problem. And that's what's so great about Donald Trump's record. He did it despite all of those people going after him with unprecedented attacks.
We say, and I ask you to stay with us, lift up your voices in this great meeting in the heart of England. Send to all the world a message: England lives and marches on.